Hello world of YouTube. It has been a while since I've made a concert vlog because it's been a while since I've been to a concert. I did the tier time on my last concert, so it has been a hot second since I've just sat down and talked about my experience in a smaller portion about a show. But even in that same breath, it's been even longer since I've been to a show with Rachel, which made last night a lot more special, admittedly. But we saw Kesha on her Tits Out tour in Noblesville at the Ruoff Music Center, a venue that I'd never been to, and admittedly, before I get into the show, the venue itself was solid, drinks, hella overpriced, and could have used with a little more spacing between seating. Made our feet hurt at the venue, and obviously we were standing because everyone was standing for Kesha. But we were sitting for the first two acts, neither of which I knew were gonna be there until even on the way there with the Scissor Sisters, but I didn't even know Slayyyter was opening the whole shindig until her set started. Now, admittedly, I didn't really know Slayyyter's music going into her set, so she was just a surprise as a whole, similarly to when I saw Matt the Band opening for the Proto Men out in Philly. But like, her set, really fucking choice. A lot of high energy, club inspired jams that tapped into like that passionate, dirty side that like Kesha leans into from time to time. She had some hype dancing going on, her crowd work was great, but her songs and her sonics were absolutely a great shot of energy to kick the night off, you know? I think that the energy of Beat Up Chanel's into Daddy as Fuck Alone is a great sort of like mission statement to the energy of the evening. It is high class swagger with some dirty sexiness beneath it all. I Love Hollywood and Starfucker just elevating that energy and keeping that at a high. I really liked Slayyyter's set, and I will be listening to more of her music because I loved the production that was backing her, and it was just a nice, loud, just electronic thudding to get, again, just some dance grooves going, and just a great embodiment of what the night could be basking into. In that same breath, I mean that it's a really good opener for Kesha's club energy. I think as a transition into Scissor Sisters, it's like two sides of the same coin, if that makes any sense. Like, a lot of the sensuality and like queerness that like parts of Slayyyter's music dips into, and obviously it gets embraced more by Scissor Sisters with their legacy as a gay music act. But like, it's a showcasing of like evolution, I guess, of sorts, in which both pairs feel like they work well to open up an artist like Kesha. And I thought that like Scissor Sisters were a great set. You know, again, learning that they were going to be opening on the way, they were actually texting my mom, because she used to listen to Scissor Sisters when I was a kid. She loves their music, or at least loved. I don't know if she still listens to them, but like, so like, it was cool to hear the songs that I knew live, and get sort of a bridge of sorts, you know, to see this like iconic act really still show that they still fucking got it. You know, there was a sort of like evolution to their set. It was all like high energy and positivity, but there was a moment of like realness in the middle of their set. They did like this stretch of like wanting to have a kiki, this like real venting session that turned into a really good Comfortably Numb cover. Had a good juxtaposition of like that high energy music with really depressing lyrics that I've talked about loving in pop music a lot, that I think also worked well into their song I Don't Feel Like Dancing. It was a good like emotional sandwich in the portion of this like really embracing of love and positivity that was a lot of their set. You know, I loved their energy. I loved the camaraderie in the band. I thought that like every member got to have their chance to like have some fun. They were serving just like everybody in the crowd was serving. And again, it was about as long as Slayyyter's set, and I think it was just a really nice sort of mood enhancer of sorts, and just kept the vibes high before Kesha finally took the stage. Which her set list was like dense with a lot of things, but I think that she accomplished a lot of her vision really strongly. There was a showcasing of freedom, liberation throughout a lot of the messaging in her set, and she really was going hard on the feeling free, and I loved seeing it. She really, like, you could tell she was having a fucking blast being up there, and I think that, like, while she did play a lot of her new album, which I will share my opinions on in the listening log for July, I thought that they worked well in her set. There were some moments where she, like, mashed up some of her new songs with her old songs, like Backstabber was woven throughout parts of Delusional. She also had You Are a Dinosaur and Whip It, of all songs, like throughout Red Flag. Like, there were some really cool moments where she bridged her eras to showcase her freedom, while also having the stretch where she was doing songs from like Warrior with new production, and the new production I thought worked really well. You know, she just had a lot of really good energy. She also smartly wove together her two collaborative big pop songs from recent and past eras, Yippee-Ki-Yay and Timber. I thought that it was a really good blending of those two jams. She was also killing it vocally with all the choreography she was doing. There were some portions throughout a couple songs where she was going throughout the crowd and she was really connecting with the crowd while still just killing it vocally. She also brought Slayyyter out for attention, and it was a really good sort of moment to bring an artist, an opener, onto the stage, something I think bands should do more of if you're planning out the tour like you do sometimes. She was up there to give a hell of a performance, and she succeeded. She was going throughout different costume changes like I alluded to earlier, which again gave Rachel and I a chance to really sit down for a second, and during those portions she was doing these like extended mixes of some of her songs. Like she did one for Take It Off, and she did the Ram Dass interlude after Fine Line to have these moments for a wardrobe change, and they fit really well. During those portions she just had like a doll on stage that the cameras kept panning to in various positions before Kesha came back out. She played guitar on a handful of songs, and I thought that was a lot of fun to have that as an element in and out of the show amidst the high choreography. It felt like a really planned night to get Kesha to use as much of the stage and crowd as possible, while also fitting her sort of parts of her discography throughout the performance. There was even a portion where we knew she was going to come back out because there were some songs she hadn't played yet, and she was like having fun with the crowd with that. She was telling stories and the like, and it was just a really good night. I could tell she was having a lot of fun, and I loved seeing her evolving discography on display. You know, while she did keep it high energy, the moments where she did slow it down really felt like nice moments with her and the crowd. Like on Happy, she was like sitting on top of the giant pyramid that was on her stage with like the spotlight on us and her, and she was just singing with us. She also did the same thing with Praying, there were a lot of moments where she was just letting the crowd sing because they were going off on that song. And it was a really great moment. Like, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. It was a beautiful moment during the night where like Kesha was reaching this emotional high with the crowd. That portion, she led into that from Cathedral, the closer for from the album, and I loved the bleeding of that. It was like the opening to her encore. It was just a really, again, a well-calculated night, set list-wise, use of stage-wise, production-wise. It was a well-done show with, honestly, not a tremendous amount put into it, which I thought was also just a really interesting thing to think about. Same with the Scissors. Everybody had a relatively easy setup, but I think that all of it was, like, used well. And it felt like it was just, like, smartly constructed. I really admired the show last night. It was a really good time, and it was nice to just hear a bunch of really good pop songs in an arena with a bunch of people that were just having a great time. What's a concert you've been to lately? Sound off in the comments down below. I don't know when the next concert I'm going to go to is. I know The Offspring is playing there next weekend, and while I would love to go, I doubt I'll get the chance to. But either way, hopefully you enjoyed my vlog about the Kesha concert. If you did like it, if you want to see more, subscribe. I drop 2 to 4 vids a week depending on what I've got going on. And I'll see you guys later. For me.